This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 28, Translation. On hearing this statement of the Lord, Devahuti inquired, "What kind of devotional service is worth developing and practicing to help me easily and immediately attain the service of your lotus feet?" Purport. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that no one is barred from rendering service to the Lord. Whether one is a woman or a laborer or a merchant, if he engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord, he is promoted to the highest perfectional state and goes back home, back to Godhead. The devotional service most suitable for different types of devotees is determined and fixed by the mercy of the spiritual master. Devahuti Ruvacha Kechit Tvayuchita Bhaktihi Kidrishi Mama Gochara Yaya Padam Te Nirvanam Anjasan Vashnavaham. On hearing this statement of the Lord, Devahuti inquired, "What kind of devotional service is worth developing and practicing to help me easily and immediately attain the service of your lotus feet?" Because Devahuti is mentioning the statement of the Lord in the previous verse, we will also read the previous verse. Thus, by not engaging in the service of the modes of material nature, but developing Krishna consciousness, knowledge in renunciation, and by practicing yoga, in which the mind is always fixed in devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one achieves my association in this very life, for I am the Supreme Personality, the Absolute Truth. So in order to engage in devotional service, or even better, in pure devotional service, one needs to stop serving the modes of material nature. People today, they think they are free and they are doing whatever they like, but actually they are slaves of the modes of material nature. They are under the control of ignorance and passion. There is a slogan, "I'm free, I watch TV." People think this is freedom to watch TV, to watch a movie, to gratify one's senses as much as one likes. But actually this sense gratification is, entrapping or causing the bondage of the conditioned soul, even greater bondage. And the conditioned soul has to take birth again and again and again in the material world. So the modes of nature are described scientifically in the scriptures, and how we are entrapped by them. And when we read in the Bhagavad Gita about the modes of nature, we can understand how much we are entrapped by the modes of nature. In the 14th chapter, 17th chapter, 18th chapter, there is a lot of discussion about the modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. So most people are under the influence of passion and ignorance, and Srila Prabhupada said, if we follow sadhana bhakti, we will get into the mode of goodness, and this mode of goodness will be actually mixed with passion and ignorance a little bit, or more or less, for some time, but then it will become pure, and when the mode of goodness is pure, it's called Shuddha Bhakti, or Shuddha Sattva, Shuddha Sattva. This means pure Sattva, pure goodness. So we are aspiring for pure goodness. We are not satisfied only with goodness, but because there was so little goodness in our lives before, sometimes even devotees become so impressed by the mode of goodness, which is mixed with passion and ignorance. And for them, Shuddha Sattva, or pure goodness, is actually something incomprehensible. So therefore they are more attracted to the goodness which is mixed with passion and ignorance. And then they say, oh, these nice people, they are better than devotees. My neighbor is nicer to me than devotees in the temple, because devotees in the temple preach to me that I'm in Maya and that I'm a demon. But my neighbor always tells me good morning and he invites me for coffee. So, he's nice. Sometimes he offers me a little whiskey, but I don't drink whiskey. So, nowadays you can see that there is so much knowledge. If you go to the bookshop, there is so much knowledge about how to be happy. There are so many experts and best-selling authors, like books about how to be happy, how to be successful. So many experts on how to live happy, successful life of abundance, how to make money. Usually America has taught us that success means money. And with money you can buy everything. You can even buy God. You can buy spirituality with money. Money is everything. But the Beatles say money can buy you love. People think that money is the honey, but we think that Vani is the honey. And if you use money to spread Vani, then money can become Vani. No, money can become honey. I'm sorry. Yeah, money can become honey. If you use money to spread money, then you can rightly and justly say that money is the honey. And I didn't invent this song. Actually, Prahlad Maharaj says that people think that money is the honey. Who told me? So you may read in the scriptures. Okay, let's speak about money. Nobody will sleep now. In the scriptures it is said, even devotees on the internet will not sleep if I speak about money. So, in the scriptures, in the second canto, there is a description that when you give something, what will you get? So we have people coming here and they throw something and they maybe read this verse and they think, well, there is a promise in the scriptures, if I give a little bit, I get 10 times more. So it's a business of charity. You give something, if you give to a brahmana, you get double, I think. Anyway, there is a description of so many things. So you can make your calculation. People come to the temple to pray to God to actually give the money. And then they see, oh, Krishna doesn't give money. Krishna takes away everything. Harishyatadanam Shanai. So better I pray to Lakshmi or to Shiva, and then I will get rich. And I will be happy until I die. But after that, I don't know what to do. You cannot bring your bank account to your graveyard or to your funeral pyre where your body is burned. So people really like money. And when I ask devotees, how many of you like money? Then some of them raise their hand, and others they are shy to raise their hand. And some of them, I like money so that I can spend it for Krishna. And then I say, yes, that's good. Prabhupada encouraged that. You can earn a lot of money, but also build a temple or invest in printing books or in distributing prasadam, sponsoring prasadam. So money is not bad, depends how you use it. But money gives people a sense of false security. I have a bank account, I'm safe. And then when the inflation comes, then your money, or banks just decides, oh, we don't have any more money, we cannot give you. There is inflation, or somebody stole it, so we cannot give you any more money. So here Devahuti is clarifying what is the best way, what is the most efficient way, what is optimization. Many devotees ask about how to optimize their energy, how to optimally engage their energy in devotional service so that they can get the maximum benefit. That's intelligent. Optimization is intelligent. How to optimize everything. So she's asking a similar question. Okay, what type of service is the best? And then he will answer later. And Srila Prabhupada, apart from giving us spiritual philosophy, Srila Prabhupada was not a person with heads in the cloud. Srila Prabhupada was very practical, and he was teaching his disciples to be practical, and sometimes they would go to the court, sometimes he would tell his disciples, you are too naive, these people want to cheat you. And then when he told one story about two people who, one man asked the other man, are you smart? And then he started pulling his pockets and they were empty, and he says, if I would be smart, my pockets would be full of money. So Srila Prabhupada wanted to say that, as far as I understand, that if you're intelligent, you will have money. At least what you need, the basics. But devotees sometimes say, oh, I don't have money. Or we spoke with our coaches. You have some very nice coaches here, life coaches, devotees. So we spoke about, like, people say, oh, I don't have money to pay you for the session, sorry. And then they have money to go 3 times a year to India and to buy so many things, the latest phone and things like that. And they cannot pay a poor coach a little bit of money so that she or he can survive. But because now there is this culture that Brahmanas should be maintained by people, by charity. Brahmanas got how many cows in charity? In the Vedic time or in Krishna's time? How many cows?
Thousands, 10,000s.
Yes, 1,000,000 cows. This is such opulence. So nowadays, Brahmanas have to become Vaishyas and have to have a financial strategy how to sell their courses. They say, oh, you should not charge for your knowledge. Okay, then how can I live? I mean, I'm not speaking about preachers in ISKCON. I'm speaking like if you want to give courses outside, you have to charge. And even if it's free, even people don't appreciate it so much. So why it is good to charge for a session? I don't charge, but devotees who live outside, they have to charge because they have to pay for their rent. So, because the person who pays for a session, they appreciate it more and they take more seriously the work that has been agreed to be done. Have you done something? Oh no, sorry, and this and that, late for the session. So much irresponsibility. Okay, I don't mind if you come, pay me, and do nothing. I want you to be very successful. So if you think it's fair that you come to me for a session and pay me and you do nothing about our session, you don't use the tools I give you, you don't use the encouragement, then something is not right with your thinking. So you should use this. So therefore they say you invest in yourself by paying for the course. This is how they say. Otherwise, if you wait for the people to, become merciful to the poor Brahmana and give him something, then you can wait forever. You can wait forever. They don't pay. They think it's free. And they say, in the Vedic scriptures it is said, you should give me knowledge for free. Okay, so what can I eat? If you give me one orange. So we speak about this, the principle of optimization and maximization and being practical And Srila Prabhupada was a businessman also. He was a pharmacist before. He knows about business. And devotees sometimes were shocked how much Srila Prabhupada knows about business, how many detailed instructions he has given to his disciples, especially in his letters, about how to run a restaurant and how to run a business, and different very, very practical instructions. And in Srila Prabhupada's teachings you can find so many things. If you are interested in money, study money in Prabhupada's teachings. You will be shocked to see amazing things. So once in Buenos Aires, Argentina, I decided to give a seminar called Financial Competence for Devotees, and this was the best attended seminar in all my South American tour. So many devotees came, and nobody was, like looking at the ceiling or sleeping during the seminar. So what is our financial competence? How do we make money? Sometimes in temples, devotees ask me, shall we cultivate our congregation, care for them so they are inspired to give for Krishna and for our maintenance? Or we should make a business out of our shop, for example, big business, or a restaurant, like in Soho, they have a restaurant in London. And I told them, what do you think I told them? They asked me, shall we do this or that? So what do you think I told them? Yes. Why not do both? Why this or that? I mean, one devotee or two devotees can take care of the shop, and the others can preach and support the congregation, and they will be inspired. I like Radhanath Maharaj. Sometimes they tell him, all these rich people, why don't you ask them to give a donation? And his policy is he never asks for a donation. But people give him a lot also. So then once when I was like a family man, I wanted to little bit develop my coaching business. So I asked one devotee to coach me. Shall I charge or not? What's better? So he said that healers who don't charge get more money than those who charge. So I decided I will not charge. And it worked. So you can see whatever works. Devotees sometimes ask me, shall I charge or not for my services? And then I say, whatever works, do that. Test this for some time, then test that for some time, and then see if it works. If charging works better than not charging, then charge. If not charging works better than charging, then don't charge. Depend on Krishna. But Krishna inspires people to give you something if you are a giver, if you give. Just like yesterday we spoke with Krishna Prema Rupa Prabhu that in some seminars they have an exercise to test whether you are a giver or a taker. And they ask all the students who are present or the participants of the course to, based on 1 or 2 day experience, so what do you think, is he a giver? Or actually you ask them, am I a giver or a taker? And then some people are shocked because they tell them you're a taker. So why am I a taker? Well, you're somehow focused on yourself. You don't look around and you don't try to do something. You try to give some encouragement. So what do you think if you would approach every devotee in the temple and ask them, am I a giver or a taker, what they would tell you? It would be painful to hear that you're a taker, you're trying to serve like an ass. Trying to serve Krishna so hard, and sometimes devotees, or serve devotees so hard and sometimes Krishna, and then they tell you, you are a taker. So it's okay, we can do certain things, but how we are perceived by others, we cannot control that. And now you may complain to me, oh, devotees don't appreciate me, my service, my personality, my devotion. But who appreciates?
Krishna.
If devotees don't see your qualities and service, who appreciates?
Krishna.
What's your name?
Lucas.
Lucas. You look so enthusiastic that I thought you are already initiated. Okay. So, but are you happy with Krishna's recognition, or you need recognition of people on the planet Earth? How many of you are happy with Krishna's recognition? You don't need the recognition of anybody else. Nobody. You a little bit from here. Yes. Yeah. So if you feel that Krishna is satisfied, sometimes devotees maybe. People have this problem. They worry what other people think about them, and I tell them, don't worry what they think about you, because they don't. They don't think about you, they think about themselves. Oh, what people will say, how I'm chanting, what is about this, how I'm singing, and how, whatever. And I told them, don't worry, they don't think about you. They are too much preoccupied with themselves, so don't worry about that. So when we read Shastra, many of these bubbles are being pierced and exploded. Different conceptions that we have. We spoke with some of our devotee coaches that we want to have a podcast. You know what is podcast? It's like a live online conversation. It's also recorded, where you can discuss different important things. So we spoke that we want to unpack all the modern self-help concepts. Do you know any of the self-help concepts? You don't read self-help books? That's good. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Whatever you can conceive, you can achieve. If you desire it hard enough, you can achieve it. The law of attraction. The law of attraction. Affirmations. I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. And I'm sitting and repeating the affirmation, I'm rich, for the last 20 years and I'm still poor. What are the other famous? Self-esteem. Jadvaita Maharaj, he had a seminar, how to lower your self-esteem. You see, our devotees go to psychologists and they help them to develop their self-esteem. You should respect yourself more. I tell devotees, you should respect your time. That not anybody can just call you anytime they want or come to you to talk to you anytime that you want. If you respect your time, other people will also respect your time. So you also speak to people by appointment. This is my recommendation. Yesterday, one gentleman from Italy wanted to call me. And I wrote him, sorry, I cannot speak to you now. And then he called me 2 more. He said, no problem. And then he called me 2 more times. So he didn't get the point. Maybe he doesn't understand English. In Italy, they don't understand English so well. So, you don't have to respect yourself, but you should respect your time. Because your time is given by Krishna. Krishna says, I am time. Then, I had a seminar here a few years ago about spiritual self-confidence, and only a few devotees came, like maybe 5-6 devotees. And so I was looking for quotes in the Shastra about spiritual self-confidence, and I found this verse from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He said, I'm lower than the worm in the stool. So this is the confidence of a devotee. He's very self-confident. He thinks himself lower than the worm in the stool. But how then, if he hates himself, if he doesn't have any sense of power, how he was able to write a masterpiece called Chaitanya Charitamrita, you tell me. So you come to me, Bhakta Lucas, and I try to boost your self-esteem. I tell you can do it, you are great. And then for some time you're intoxicated with these affirmations, with this positive reinforcement. But after some time it evaporates, and you again think, I'm not so great, because only Akrura told me that I'm great, but everybody else is telling me that I'm nonsense. So maybe I need more people to tell me. So it depends on what other people tell you, how will you feel. On Saturday, if you have time, I'm inviting you now, officially, 5 o'clock, 5 to 8, we have a seminar, how to choose your reaction in disturbing or challenging situations. Everybody needs this, every single day. So if you have time, 5 to 8, Saturday, in the library, upstairs, come and I will give you some tools for this. We see in the Shastra how people react to different things. Prahlad Maharaj, Haridas Thakur, different reactions in different situations. Like Haridas Thakur was super tolerant, but Arjuna wanted to be tolerant, and Krishna said, no, you should not be tolerant. You are not Haridas Thakur. You should fight and kill them all. Because you have to fight for religious principles, for the right cause, to protect the law, and this is your duty. So not everybody has the same duty. And here, in the last sentence of the purport, is mentioned that the Guru can help devotee to find his varna, to find his occupation, and to engage in devotional service happily. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said that one should be engaged according to his nature. What can repression accomplish? You cannot suffocate your nature. It's not good. It's dangerous. It said it's dangerous to actually not act according to your nature. So therefore Varnashram is so important. But Varnashram doesn't mean we are waiting that some leaders up there organize Varnashram all over the world and then we will be happy. Varnashram means that you take responsibility to find your varna with the help of your guru, of your guides, and engage yourself in devotional service. Why should you wait for the global Varnashram to find your place in ISKCON, or in devotional service, or in the world? Why? Why should we wait for this? We can take responsibility for our ashram and varna and do it now. And there are so many people who can help us. There are so many devotees who speak about Varnashram. So what is your best service? If you come to me for a conversation, I will ask you, what are you inspired to do? And usually, life is a combination of doing the needful and doing what we like to do. If you only do the needful, you will become frustrated. If you only do what you like to do, you will become spoiled. I like to translate so much, and I was pushing. I was not so good in English. And I was asking Hari Swami, can I translate? And devotees, because I was first months, I was very spaced out. I couldn't do almost anything right, because doing for Krishna is not the same as doing things in the material world. And then he said, okay, test him. He said to our managers, test him. And managers, supposedly, they were better in English than me, and they could test me. I questioned that, but anyway. So they test me, and I barely passed the test. And then I said, now I'm going to translate. It will be much easier, and it will be service according to my nature. And then I realized, even though I'm doing what I like, I still have to surrender. So it was so hard, because in ISKCON, breakfast is lunch is lunch, and dinner is lunch. So it's a huge meal, and in the morning we have halava, we have bread. So how can you stay awake and translate? Translate for 6-7 hours a day. So I asked Satchidananda Swami, because he also translated into German. And he said, yeah, in the beginning we are young, we need prasadam, this is the only joy. So you walk and spend it. So I want to say that even if you are given to do something you like, still you have to surrender. And still it will be some kind of austerity. But, of course, devotees should be ready to do anything for Krishna, but we see that those who have lasted in Krishna consciousness, they have a project. They have something that they do, something they are inspired to do. Like our Madhava Prabhu, he told me upstairs in the library, he said, when I started, Indra Prabhu instructed him to start kirtan, chanting, sit and chant. And he said, Indra Prabhu, nobody is coming to my kirtan. And he told him, just continue. And he just took this very instruction, very, he just took it, accepted it. And now we know that hundreds and thousands of people come to his kirtan, very much inspired. So every beginning is not easy. Whatever you want to do, it will not be easy. I remember when I started Gita coaching in England, parallel service was a secretary of the president in London, and of course this takes like 7-8 hours a day. But whenever there is an opportunity, I was doing what I like, working with people. I was working with documents a lot of time, but then I started more and more working with people, and after 5 years I was working 100% with people and was paid for this. This was Krishna's mercy and devotees' mercy. So if you really want to do something for Krishna, there is in Nectar of Devotion, if you remember, it says we should desire particular service to Krishna. Particular service to Krishna. So what is the service that really excites you? I see some devotees very enthusiastically make flower arrangements, they make garlands, and some devotees very enthusiastically dress the deities. And then sometimes people say, wow, this is amazing. They become so inspired by the way the deities are dressed. Yeah, because Pujari is so Krishna conscious, he's so enthusiastic, he's also expert. So devotee can desire and should desire to be engaged in a particular service. And while we are here in agreement with authorities, we can ask devotees for blessings to do something that we like to do, but also parallel we have to do what is needful, to do the needful also sometimes. I mean, if it's needful. And sometimes doing the needful takes maybe a couple of years, but then more and more, when devotees see that you are inclined to do something, especially preaching, then they will give you opportunities and they will engage you in that service. And whatever one does, it can be connected to preaching. Whatever you do, even if you just do garlands, if there is, Prabhus don't do garlands, or maybe sometimes Prabhus do garlands also. Yeah? Yes, no? You don't know? You didn't make any garlands? Okay. So there is Mataji sitting next to you and making garland, and you will not just be quiet or only show her how to make a garland. You can speak to her about Krishna. That's preaching. You can make friendship. You can give her a gift. So if you want an easy way to preach, it's 6 loving exchanges. Dadati pratigrinati, guyamakati prichati, bhumte bhujayate chaiva, shabhida pratilakshanam. Sri Rupa Goswami explains what is love in practice. Giving gifts, receiving gifts, confidentially opening your mind, speaking openly, sincerely to devotees, and hearing from them confidential instructions, guidance, or from them hearing their confidential realizations, and giving prasadam and accepting prasadam. Some people say that listening is love in action. Some people say that patience is love in action. So we are supposed to be loving, but sometimes we are perceived as very, very cruel and very rude. And Prabhupada said, how to recognize your disciple? He said, he is a gentleman. So what does gentleman mean? Gentleman means gentleman, not a rude man. You cannot say that rude man is a gentleman. So gentleman means gentle, kind, patient, and sometimes also strict, but strict with love, not with envy. Strict. Sometimes we have to be strict. This is also expression of love. If we have to point out what is dangerous or what is wrong. So have you thought, what can be my long-term mission? What can I do for Krishna for the rest of my life? How can I contribute to Krishna consciousness on the planet, to other people's lives, so that they can become Krishna conscious? What is your desire? What is your vision? And do you talk to Krishna sometimes? Do you personally? He's a person, he can hear you, he's in your heart. How many of you have written a letter to Krishna? Bhaktivedanta Swami used to write letters to Krishna. He showed us how to do it, very sincere. So writing a letter is a very personal thing. When you write letter to God, that's amazing. Mighty Lord, thank you for keeping me here. You can start with gratitude, and then you can express your maybe confusion. Oh my dear Lord, why did you do that in this lila? Or in this age? Or like yesterday we spoke with Keshava Madhav Prabhu about Bhagavad Gita and coaching. And he says, in coaching, you don't immediately, people come to you and you immediately tell them what's wrong with them. So you don't do that. You first listen to them, and then you can find ways how to help them to become aware of what they need to change. But Krishna immediately smashed Arjuna. Why? He immediately said, oh, you're speaking learned words, but you're a fool number one. So we were discussing why it was good, why it was right to do from the side of God. Because they were very close. There was a lot of trust. So when you have a very close friends, you can sometimes do like this. But if a new person comes to them, you don't immediately tell them, feast in their face. Of course, in the 60s, in the 70s, this heavy preaching also worked. Prithu Prabhu, I heard that when he was preaching to people, his goal was to shave them up. So that means they become devotees. Just shave them, dress them in dhoti, put them in the temple, in the ashram. And there is one story, I don't know if it's Lilamrita or Damodara Vilasa, about Vishnujan Maharaj. One boy came to him and said, Vishnujan, I have a ticket for a rock concert. And Vishnujan took it and tore it apart. So it's nonsense. So, this was like old preaching. You just chastise people, fry them out, destroy their attachments. And they become amazingly fired up Damodara party brahmacharis. And they, instead of a rock concert, they have a kirtan concert. So if it would be that easy, we could continue with this strategy, but we see that people are more and more sensitive, people are, people don't trust so easily, so we cannot do that now. Nowadays it's very, very, sometimes maybe for some special soul it can work. You smash them and they become devotees. but usually it doesn't work. So we need to be very patient, and all of you know this scene, this situation. Somebody is not coming for a long time, and they come, and then you say, "Oh, where were you? Maybe Maya." So make them feel so bad that this is the last time they have come. Instead, we can come, oh, nice to see you, as if they were here yesterday. How are you doing? Do you want some prashad? Very simple. Instead of, oh, where were you? Or, I know one leader, when people don't come to the morning program, and he sees them later, he says, oh, sorry, do you have a tissue? I have something in my mouth.
Can you use this?
Thank you. Then he says, oh, we were missing you. But it's sarcastic. It's not really that, he had an emotional trauma because this devotee didn't come. Like feeling a longing or things like that. No, it's ironic. So people are so sensitive to words, and therefore this verse we will discuss on Saturday, Anudvega Karamakyam, from the 17th chapter, austerity of speech, how to speak, how to speak to yourself, how to speak to others. Krishna is giving us instructions how to communicate. Krishna didn't say, preach by sarcasm. Be sarcastic and people will become devotees. Krishna never said that. Okay, thank you very much. Do you have any questions? We have 3 minutes, yes?
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, when you said write letters to God, okay, then where do you post them?
Wonderful. Maybe you can share with your mentor, if you have a mentor, or maybe you can, if you are bold, you can show it to your guru. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. You don't have to post them. Actually, he's in your heart. He can see it. He can immediately see them. You don't have to post them. And I'm sure that Krishna is watching also internet. I think Krishna created internet for preaching, and we are not using it enough. But you have a camera, and you go on Mayapur TV. Krishna hears us, so I recommend 3 starts of sentences. Mighty Lord, please. Mighty Lord, how can I? And mighty Lord, thank you for this and this and that. So you can, these 3 kinds of sentences you can use in your letter, in your communication with God. I think it would be very nice. And sometimes you can also follow Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Raghunadas Goswami, and you can say, my dear mind, address your mind, and try to make your mind Krishna conscious. But if you address anyone with my dear, the whole communication changes. Even if you hate how many of you hate yourself? Nobody. How many of you love yourself? A little bit. For me, this is such a difficult concept. They say love yourself. To love myself, I know my flaws. How can I love myself? Okay, so forgive yourself. So these are 2 of the concepts that we want to discuss in our podcast. Love yourself, forgive yourself. So I sometimes write like, you can love yourself and forgive yourself, but if you break the laws of nature, there will be consequences. So I forgive myself. Yeah, you should not beat yourself up forever for your mistakes, but don't repeat them. Don't repeat them. And sometimes, people learn from New Age teachers, love yourself, hug yourself. Nobody is hugging you, so you hug yourself. You say, oh, you're so nice. Akrura Ji. Somehow, I don't feel comfortable with this. I don't know. Maybe I'm still in Maya. But, oh, you're a part of God. You should love yourself. And I have compiled big word file with Prabhupada statements about self-help and self-care. And you can see what he says. What is self-help and self-care? And he's saying you should take care of yourself in many places. But what he means is become Krishna conscious. Of course, also take care of the body, rest enough, eat properly. So my understanding is that we don't have to post it. What do you think? Maybe you have some other idea? No? Yeah, we don't have to post it. We just vocalize it or verbalize it or write it down, and he will see it. And he will see that you are sincere. He will help. He will help. Communication. How do you communicate? We will speak on Saturday about that. How do you communicate with yourself or with your mind? And how do you communicate with others? How do you communicate with God? So your inner dialogue can be consisted a lot of your communication with Krishna. And I recommend one thing that we can do is, before you start any service, you can say, "Mighty Lord, I'm doing this for you. Please accept it as an offering of love." Imagine, before every service you say that. How much different it will be for you. "Mighty Lord, I'm doing this for you." It's very personal. We become very mechanical in our chanting, in our puja, The only thing where we are not mechanical, we are very personal, is when we take Krishna prasadam. We exactly know what we like. We are very personal. But other things, mechanical chanting, mechanical kirtan, mechanical lecture, inattentiveness. Even maybe you can preach mechanically, without any heart, any emotion. You just repeat the Shastra cold, and you're full of frustration. So you tell me, what is your greatest frustration in life? I will share mine after I hear from you. Some of you, at least some of you. What is your greatest frustration? Let us become negative. If I would have a cookie, I would give it to you, because your frustration is about your imperfection. That's nice. But I want to see what is your frustration about others. I have plenty. Yes? Any other frustration? Yeah.
Wasting time.
Others or you?
Yeah, first I thought myself.
Collectively.
Now you said just about the others.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's there too, yeah. Wasting time is...
Anybody else who is bold? Yeah?
I'm very frustrated that I misused the time when I was young.
Oh, okay. This you cannot change, it's past. Mm-hmm.
I misuse the time that way that I destroy myself with this lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Now I realize what I do.
Mm-hmm. This is a past frustration. It doesn't have to influence your present very much. Anybody else? Yes?
Can I have the right to do not have any frustration?
I mean, you have full right. You don't have to be frustrated.
I don't see I see the reason for which many are frustrated, and myself, I could have been frustrated, but I'm not the doer. How can I be frustrated?
But you are responsible for your misdeeds. So if you are not frustrated with your misdeeds, with your wrong actions, that means you are in ignorance. You don't know what is right and what is wrong. It's like safe complacency. You are self-satisfied. That I'm okay.
Well, I'm not self-satisfied, but I would say that I'm trying to give the best I can, and the result doesn't belong to me. So,
But you can try your best in a wrong activity.
well, of course, I have to always always reflect about what I'm doing and am I doing it right?
Like you can have positive thinking about wrong things, so you will get bad result. I'm very positive about sinful activities. So you get bad results. So you have to be positive about the right thing. Then your positivity is actually will bring you results, better results. Yes?
Cold heart. That's it.
Cold?
Cold heart.
Cold heart. Okay.
Quarrel or disagreements or misunderstanding with other people.
Misunderstanding with other people, disagreement.
Yes, quarrel or
Quarrel.
Quarrel. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's good to look at what is our frustration and work on it. My frustration is shallow thinking. Shallow thinking. It's opposite of deep thinking. I think this is the main cause of most of the problems that we have. Because if your thinking is not shallow, then your action will be of a higher quality. But if the thinking is shallow, you don't really think. For example, you want to do something, but you don't think about the consequences, or like far-reaching thinking. Then you will do something that you will regret, or we will do something that we will regret. How do you talk to yourself? Is it a high-quality conversation? How do you make decisions? What are you going to do next in the next moment? Every day, minute by minute, we decide whether to do something Krishna conscious or something less Krishna conscious or something non-Krishna conscious. So shallow thinking brings to decisions which are actually not good for us, which bring action which is not good for us. So anyway, but sometimes it's good to look at what are the obstacles. It's like we are trying to advance in Krishna consciousness. We're making so much effort to do positive devotional service, but it's like when you're driving and you're also keeping your foot on the brake, I think it's very, very advisable, very wise, very smart to release the brake. So similarly, if we are doing devotional service and making offenses or not dealing with a certain frustration, then we are actually slowing down our progress. So sometimes it's good to look at what is stopping me, what is frustrating me, what is taking away my energy, my enthusiasm, and then deal with this, eliminate it somehow. There are so many ways you can be helped, or you can find help, and then you can move forward much easily. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.